My name is Holly Lashbrook. I am the producer, writer, and director of Chronicles of the Worst. The staff meeting. I wrote it, produced it, directed it. I'm going to edit it. It's mine. All of it's mine. The Chronicles of the Worst is about all those things in life that just are just horrible. And the one I started with is the staff meeting, because I think everybody has been in a meeting or a staff meeting that is just, it's like a waste of an hour. You're never going to get that hour back in your life. And so I wanted to kind of take all of those situations that you've heard about or you've actually experienced and kind of put it in something so people can, when they see it, they can go, oh yeah, I've been in that meeting. And so it's funny, and yeah, it's just where it came from, and it's just natural. Kate, or Sarcasm Girl, I have to admit, is a lot like me. When I wrote her, the comebacks and the questions, a lot of times I get caught being the one that will bring up something that just kind of cuts it to the quick, and I don't necessarily mean it to be sarcastic, but it really just kind of lays out, this is what it is, why aren't we doing this? The sleeping guy, Mike the sleeping guy, I'm like, I have to have somebody that basically is young, which the actor who played Mike is a younger guy, and needed to just be that, what do you mean this isn't the budget meeting? You know, just that kind of, what? Where am I? I had to have that in there. Okay. John, or as I like to call him, the ineffectual but highly paid leader. He's basically the guy that probably was really cool before he got any type of power, and now that he has power, he's just so into that power that he's no longer, he can't do anything. And I think we all have experienced that type of boss. So that's John. You do care, but you're a doofus. Okay. Does that make sense? So you think this is the most, this is the most important thing that you can possibly do. Now, mind you, you don't realize that it's about to spin out of control, because she's going to come up with some stuff that you're like, what?
As you can see by the graph here, the use of the inter-office instant messaging system has grown quite exponentially since it was first instituted. However, the use of inappropriate language has become quite prevalent. Therefore, I'm asking everyone to come up with a list of inappropriate words to be blocked from usage in the inter-office instant messaging system. Any suggestions?
Stacy. I work with a lot of Stacys.
I'm back. You won't believe what she just said.
I mean, I love my friends who are mothers, but a lot of them turn into completely different people when they become moms, and Stacy represents that. Barbie. Well, Barbie is the kid that everybody hears on conference calls. That is just this universal kid.
Mommy! Hang on a minute, love. Mommy is working. But Mom, I need you.
And she came about from every time I would go on a plane, I had an 8-year-old kicking my seat. And so I just kind of, that's where she comes from. She's just that little annoyance that comes in that just is enough of a disturbance, just take everything off track.
Do it again, I want to see. Oh my God.
Paul. Oh, Paul. I actually worked with a guy, his name wasn't Paul, that just couldn't figure out any kind of technology there was to it. Didn't understand what the mute button was for, so we caught a lot of stuff that you probably shouldn't have caught, you know, like him in the bathroom. And so Paul wants to comment, wants to be a part of the cool group, and all that type of stuff, and he's just not. And he's just a source of comic relief that you don't intend, but that's what he is. The staff meeting, scene 3A, take 1, no sound. Mark.
Paul, we can't hear you, Paul. Paul, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Paul.
I'm a control freak. I always have been, and the thing I love about writing is that if I'm writing a character that really annoys me, I can kill him off. And you can't do that in real life. And I think that's why I like the whole film aspect of creativity, is because I can create a reality that I actually would want to live in, or that I live in and want to get out of. You know, and I think that's where the writing thing comes from. I think the directing thing, I love directing people that are really talented, that can take the words that I wrote and really make them into something. And that's where I was extremely lucky on my shoot, having these really great actors who have had wonderful training and who have great personalities that were able to really kind of nuance and massage that little idea, that little germ of idea I put in their head, and really making it. And then when you come on screen, you need, basically we're shooting from right about here on her, okay, up, and right about here to about here. So you'll want to kind of keep you want your face right there. And just, you know, and I'll tell you that you'll see me do this if you're not on frame, okay? But you should be good. And production, I mean, I love organizing everything. So being a producer, it's just a natural extension of me. And since in my real life, I'm a project manager, it's very similar to being a project manager, except with better looking people. I come from a family of storytellers, both sides. I've got people that tell great stories on both sides of my family. I also think it's a coping mechanism, because I think being a really highly creative kid in an area that, I mean, I grew up in a rural area, and it's just not normal, you know, to be weird and to be a nerd. It just, at the time, it just wasn't normal. So I think that's how I coped. And I mean, I hung out with a lot of different groups in school, a lot of different cliques, and I was the funny one. What I want people to remember, or to come out of when they see Chronicles, is not to take themselves so seriously and to laugh, because I think a lot of people forget about that part in their day. And they take things so seriously that you get so stressed and you get so built up that you can't enjoy life. Because life is fleeting, life is short, and these little hour times that you're stuck in meetings that are absolutely ridiculous. Like Seinfeld says, it's all material. I mean, you got to remember that you're not taking it home with you. And I just hope that I'm helping people that are in situations that are so stressful at work. It's like, yeah, work sucks. That's why it's called work. But to just laugh and just to let go. And I hope that's what people get out of it. I really do.
What are your dreams and aspirations with regard to film production?
I would like to do independent films, because you know how you can go see an independent film and you can automatically tell that it's a New York or it's an LA independent film. I want to help create the Detroit version of that. What from Detroit, and I'm hoping that it's more very reality-based, very natural, that type of thing. Because I just think that being real is not what New York and LA is about. So I'm hoping I can help out with that. Betty Jo is going to be a star.